Hella good, bro. Got him.
Worth. Okay. Well, my death got John a triple kill, so.
How much are they?
Pretty cheap.
What is going on, everybody? This, of course, is Stark, and I'm back here for Season 5 Champion Builds and Guides, and this year we're going to be starting off with one of my favorite AD carries, Jinx, the Loose Cannon. She is really fun to play, and for those of you that haven't played her yet or would like to learn how to play her this season, this is going to be the build and the guide for you. Now, of course, this isn't going to be for anyone probably above gold, per se, because you probably already have your own build and everything that you'd like to play on her, and masteries, runes, etc. You have all that figured out. So this is for the people that want to learn her and want to get a basic understanding and tips for that. Jinx is a really fun ADC to play, and if you can get the hang of her, she can do a ton of damage. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going to take a look at, of course, her overview and some tips and going forward as far as that goes. But her abilities, her passive is called Get Excited, and what that does is if she damages a champion, a tower, or an inhib, and then that thing dies within 3 seconds, she's going to get a massive movement speed boost. So that means that as long as she does any sort of damage to either a champion, an inhib, or a tower, and then it dies, again, she can run away, she can chase the rest of the team. It's really, really good if you know how to control that. If you know that a champ's going to die, you're going to pop that passive, and you're going to be able to chase somebody else down, almost like getting that extra flash in there for getting into a fight or out of a fight. Her Q, her switcheroo, is going to switch between Pow Pow, which is her minigun, her basic attack, and then Fishbone's her rocket launcher. So that basically switches between the two. And one thing you're going to want to note with Jinx and her switching between the Qs is that not only do you want to level that up first whenever you go into lane, but you want to use her Fishbones, her rocket launcher, to poke as much as possible because it has an extra range. It has extended range than Pow Pow, the minigun. So whenever you're just basic attacking, trying to clear the waves, and the enemy ADC or the enemy support walks up towards you, you can switch to the rocket launcher, you can do some damage, you can make them back off, and then you can actually use that to chase a little bit because their basic attack range is probably not going to be as long as the Fishbone's range. Now, of course, that does depend on which ADC support you're up against, but for the most part, her Q is her long-range poke, and it really does a lot of damage in cluster. So she's going to do damage to multiple minions or minions and champions in fights as well. So moving into her W, her Zap, it's her shock pistol. It does damage to the first enemy that is hit in a line, okay? So she fires it straight in a line, and it's going to hit the first thing. So you can't fire it through minions. That's important to note. You can't do that. But it does a lot of damage, and it slows. So if you hit the person, it's going to slow them down. You could then switch to your Q and get a couple rockets on them in order to catch up before you can finish them off. Her E is her Flame Chompers. She throws 3 snare grenades that explode after 5 seconds. If an enemy walks over one of them, it will actually lock onto them and hold them in place. So that's very, very huge to note. So just going through her first 3 abilities, you were going to want to zap if you possibly can, throw the chompers down behind, and then start laying into them with your basic attacks, and that's going to do a ton of damage. Her ultimate, the Super Mega Death Rocket, is going to be her global ultimate rocket that she can fire anywhere on the map. It does a ton of AoE damage whenever it hits a target, so it's good for obviously that long-range snipe, of course, but also firing into a team to do a ton of damage around as many people that are grouped up as possible. So just going over her runes and masteries, you're going to see on the screen right now my rune page as far as what I run for ADC. Now, this is what I run for most of my ADCs, but it's going to be some magic resist blues as well as attack speed blues. Obviously some attack damage marks, and then armor yellows as well as attacks. I have 2 attack speed quints and 1 attack damage quint. So overall it's going to be 4, 11, 13, and 9 as far as magic resist, physical damage, attack speed, and armor. And then your mastery page you're going to see on your screen, it's your basic 21-9 ADC points. Now, just in general, just going over everything as far as that goes, you can change this stuff up as much as you possibly want, and whatever suits your playstyle. Maybe you don't want as much attack speed, and in my opinion, I think that her attack speed is very, very important because her basic attacks ramp up the more that she is attacking. So the more you're attacking, the faster her attacks are going to get. So that's going to be huge for Jinx especially. But again, that's going to be completely up to you how you want to tweak that between your runes and your masteries. Now, as far as the build, with the recent changes to IE in the end of the season into Season 5, I always go IE on her first. The first thing you're going to want to do is pick up that BF sword as soon as you possibly can. It's around 55 minions. You can back and pick that up. If you're doing well in lane, you can even pick up a few pots as well. Possibly even if you got a double maybe down the lane, you're farming pretty well, you can get the BF, 2 pots, and boots. Now that will be a really good start for you. But with that being said, you're going to go IE into boots, second tier boots, and you can go, here's where it differs for some people. I personally like to go static shiv on her because of the Q rocket launcher proc. Some people like to go phantom dancer. It's a little bit more costly, but it does give you a little bit more crit chance and movement speed, or less movement speed, but more crit chance. So that's completely up to you as far as how you want to play that, but I go her IE, then Static Shiver, Phantom Dancer, then I pick up a Bloodthirster, and then last would be a Last Whisper, and then your Guardian Angel if you need to do that. Now, Last Whisper, in my opinion, is only good if, obviously, they have a ton of armor that you need to cut through, but just in general, if you want to do the Last Whisper, make sure that they have a few tanks that you're going to use it on. If not, go with a Ghost Blade. A Ghost Blade also has a little bit more movement speed and damage. So that's as far as the build goes. That's completely up to you. That's what I do, okay? But if you want to maneuver it around and do what you want, that's completely up to you. As far as tips for her, she's not mobile whatsoever, so you want to make sure that you position yourself very well in team fights. She has her chompers that she can get away, but if you don't have flash and heal up, you're going to have a harder time if you get caught by one of the enemy engages. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want to position yourself very well, use chompers to your advantage, and just lay in a ton of damage from the outside of the fight. That's Jinx in a nutshell. And I hope you guys have fun playing her this season. I freaking love playing her. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I generally stream 4 or 5 times a week on my Twitch channel. The link will be in the description below as well. And if you're new around here, feel free to click the like button and subscribe for more. There's going to be many more champion guides and tips later this season. So I'm out, guys. Peace.